Ah, goody. We're live. It's Roy Ellison Video Diary live. That's the working title of what we're doing. What you're inevitably, I shouldn't say inevitably, but obviously participating in if you're watching. Wow. In my things that I do online, whether it's recorded or broadcast live on the internet waves, it's everything I do is supposed to be on the level. That's my modus operandi, my mission statement. It's what I want, and by on the level, I mean completely. I'll say anything. I'll be my pure, unfiltered self. It's what I've always done, and it's what I think now is perfectly conducive to an online presence. Don't you see? I've always had it. It's what the people want. It could be, or it's a form of full-blown narcissism. That's what this is. That's what the YouTube generation is. It's a generation of people talking to the camera mostly alone. And what does that mean? Well, they don't mind the sound of their voice. And when I say they, I mean me too. I'm there. Hell, I happen to know, looking at my computer, I'm all alone here. Nobody's even watching. Maybe in the future, people will watch this. So my mission statement, be myself, because actually, what better kind of show could be expected than, if it's going to be live, at least let the person gibba-gabbing be someone, I don't know, if not relatable, then real. Because look, I don't know if I'm necessarily relatable. I don't know if you noticed, but I talk in tangents. I think in tangents and then just talk. A great nightmare of mine is going senile. But because I do have Alzheimer's in the family, but also, it's led to me doing a lot of research on abnormal psychology and just amateur research. I don't know everything. But it has come to my attention that tangential thinking without getting to the point is a symptom of schizophrenia or psychosis or some shit. Like, yikes. But that's why I always make it a point to get to the point. You just have to remember to do it. When I say you, I mean me. Mostly. I'm referring to myself when I say you. You know that, though, right? This is my second cup of coffee. I don't usually get the Buks. You know what I'm saying? I'll just make it. Or go to Winchell's. I like that, but Buks is stronger, and I'm developing in my coffee habit to require a stronger brew. But I also offset it with more cream than usual. One way or another, it's just an unhealthy addiction, just a problem. I took my first cup to the dog park with Happy this morning. It was a relatively new dog park to me, third time I'd been there. It's in Echo Park. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a California man. I'm a Cali boy. A Cali boy. That's what I've heard people say before. But you don't need to have known me to know I don't say things like that and mean them. You just need to have watched the last 4 minutes to get that. I think it's pretty clear. Anyway, what was I saying? I took my coffee to the dog park with my dog. Oh, you don't know? I have a dog. He's an English Bull Terrier named Happy. I don't know what I was thinking when I named him. I don't. Maybe it was a cry for help. The more, because I thought about that when I did kind of settle on the name, and it was like, no, that's not why. And look, not in a desperate, pathetic way, but more like this is for me kind of way. I got a puppy. I was like, I'm calling you Happy. You will be happy. And so will I. So will I. When I say you to a dog, a baby puppy, I'm usually talking, you're talking to yourself. You're just projecting. Maybe that was the case. I don't even know anymore. Because fact is, sometimes I wonder, like, he's a dog. He's a dog's life. He's probably happy. But then other times I'm like, geez, are you miserable? What's wrong? He'll be, around his bed, being lazy, and I'll get close and he'll go, okay. I get it. Get your private space, get your personal space. I wouldn't even call that really aggression, but it is not nice. It's mean. That's the worst it can get, I guess. Fine. But at the dog park, this was the worst. This was a crime against humanity. He gets these balls. Usually you'd think, like, if a dog is going to be aggressive, it's usually when it's got something like a ball that it loves, and you are going to take it, and he won't let you. And that's when they would be aggressive. That's not when he's aggressive. That's when he goes into this weird kind of, I don't know, it's like a pathetic little cowering mode. I never beat him. But he acts like, well, what he does is gets as low to the ground as possible, and then I'll get my hand toward the ball. This is only certain balls, not every ball, but certain balls. He can't. He's decided this is the ball to end all balls. It's got just the right amount of everybody's slobber. It rolled through piss puddles, like 4 piss puddles, and didn't stay soaking in them for very long. So that it's just got the eau de piss, making it this perfect spit piss ball that I just love to chew. And when I say I mean him. I'm being happy in playing the role of happy. I'm relatively happy right now, but right now I'm being happy. I love to chew spit balls. Spitty piss balls. And he'll bite down on it and all the fluid dribs. And I touch them, the balls. I touch the dirty spit piss dog balls, tennis balls that they leave around the dog park. Who fucking does that? Who's bringing all the tennis balls to the dog park? Balls for everybody. I know it's not the city. The city does not pay for tennis balls to put in their park. So who does it? Some generous jerk. Now, instead of playing with other dogs, my dog is socially retarded because he happens to be a breed predisposed to ball loving. And when he's got a ball, he doesn't play with other dogs. He hardly plays with me. So I've got my coffee there. And I've got a hold of his harness so I can, because he wouldn't let me get the ball otherwise. And eventually we got to leave. So I'm trying to get the ball, and he's jerking around. It's the same kind of jerk like when you pick up a chihuahua, like a fat, mean chihuahua. Now, my dog Happy doesn't growl when he's doing this whippy thing, but imagine a little chihuahua doing the whippy. When you pick it up, it goes. You just got this like ticking dog bomb Oh, no, look out. I opened the door by accident. I'm coming to you live from my closet sound booth in beautiful Pasadena, California. I moved here in January. So Happy wasn't growling, but he was doing the whippy thing, and I eventually got the ball. But not before. He knocked over my first cup of coffee. That was it was like losing a brother in arms. My apologies for that gross comparison. It wasn't. There's nothing like losing a brother in arms. I get it. I'm sorry. I should say I don't get it. I just don't know enough. I don't know anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was it on Memorial Day? I posted an offhand joke. It was, now they think about it, pretty insensitive. But I was publicly humiliated when the response came in. Well, I posted on Memorial Day. It's the thing about Memorial Day is I always forget about it. And some uppity someone was offended. And he posted a picture of, children crying over a grave, of, military wives being consoled. I mean, I really boned that up, didn't I? He said in his comment, "This should help you remember." Ugh. I didn't delete the post. I kept it up as a point of shame. I've got a show. It's the 6th of July in Pasadena, the Ice House, the oldest comedy club in the country, so they say. Though I've got my reservations. Perhaps the oldest comedy club in California. Seems about right, but the country? Well, I've heard the same thing of other clubs on the East Coast. Well, I just can't say for sure. Here, while it's just us, me and my reflection and I, excuse us. I'll go Facebook Live too to try to drag them in. I already made a post, but
hi, my name is Matt Jones.
That's my buddy Matt Jones. We'll do the Facebook Live thing to see how would you go about doing that though. Let's see. Oculus. I don't know. What if a real person did show up right now? I'd be on my phone and they'd be like, "Huh? This is bull." And I'll say, "No, no, no. No. Come here. I want to talk." That's what this is about. I've got a pretty cool setup in here. I'm proud of it. I won't, I'm not going to refer to it on a regular basis, at least. It's not the kind of thing I'm going to do a lot, is just talk about my stuff. But I do have a pretty cool setup in here. If I can get Facebook Live going, I'll put it on there, and then you can get a good look of my recording booth. It's a DIY, which means do it yourself. Took me forever to figure that one out. Also, SMH for the longest time, because I was left to my own devices. I had to figure out what it was because I couldn't ask. How do you people find out what these acronyms mean at first? Do they, does it just come to you and you're like, oh, well, naturally. FU means, fun underwater. Because it's certainly not FY. Some of these acronyms are word accurate, and others aren't. And I'm supposed to what, like get it? So anyway, for the longest time, I thought SMH was slap my head. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody slaps their head. Not even as an impulse. It just doesn't happen. People go, oh, no. That's all they do. Or they shake their head. They don't even do. Who shakes their head at people and means it? And jerks. Judgmental people, really. I'm trying to figure out how. Oh, I figured out how to go live. I figured it out. We're starting a live video on Facebook, but you know what? It doesn't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to look at this video on Facebook to be with me live. You can get a good behind the scenes look as I wait for anybody to show up and hang out with me on YouTube. That's my preferred mode, and this is like a triple threat inception of live. I'm double live right now. Don't you see? I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. Well, man, do you see? I feel like the Manhunter from Red Dragon. Do you see? We're having fun now. Do you see? I hold up a camera phone. Do you see? Oh, you get it now. Hey, Rick, Randy. We're having an R party over here. It's just the three of us R's. Just city witty. Welcome. This is a Facebook Live. I'm doing it to be more accessible to folks. That way, you know, the word gets out eventually. Hopefully, that look what I'm doing. I mean, I've got a freaking sound booth, and you know, I'm trying to do YouTube Live, but nobody's hanging out on YouTube Live. Look at that. That's pathetic, really. Jake, it's good to, I can't even say see you or hear from you. I don't even know what the hell this is. This isn't like what real people do. There's nothing perfectly all right with this behavior. Look at all of this. I've got all these computers and all of these things, and this thing goes in my pocket, but I take it out and I uncomfortably hold it up just to get a little bit more attention on Facebook so people will come to my YouTube. It's pathetic. You don't think how do you think I feel? I'm talking to myself. Okay, well then good. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Because I know that you're there. I know you're real people. It's what's crazy about this, and I don't know if I'll ever get over it. These are real people I'm talking to here, but I'm all alone for all intents and purposes. I am trying to find a way to hold this up and be able to read and all too. Yeah, but check out the setup. Yeah, pretty fancy. Just figured it out though. I don't know what buttons I'm pressing. I'm gonna try to hop, zip. Hey Taylor, I remember you from school. It must have been so many years ago. You are this is what Facebook's for though, right? You're like a real person. Oh, I figured it out, didn't I? Yeah. All right, here we go. Because I am like the main attraction here. If you guys want, you can also check out my YouTube, just called Roy Ellison. And if you subscribe to that, then you will see that my first choice is to broadcast onto that. Oh. This is a set. It's like, I don't know what. So no one ever made me like no one ever wrote the instruction book, and if they did, I didn't read it. I'm sure they did write it, but why would I? No, we're all left to flounder alone in the social media world, because those at the top like to see people not doing as well as them. I don't know. They don't give great advice. I watch a lot of YouTube instructional videos for this kind of thing. So, you know what? Make a liar out of me. Why don't I? Me. What was I talking about earlier? I don't know. What do you guys think about if you saw my dog being aggressive, as he he's not, I wouldn't call him aggressive, but you know, he's gotten in some tiffs. We'll call them tiffs with other dogs at the dog park. And I always I leave generally when that happens because everybody treats me weird. You ever feel like a leper? And I'm like looking around, and it's all these dog people. You know, there's a lot of big wieners. You know, a lot of little weenie men. You know, women. And so when their dogs start, after my dog has an episode, we'll call it, of, you know, just sheer dog behavior, everyone looks at me like, oh great, this guy probably beats his dog. And whenever their dog gets close to my dog, they say, oh, nope, nope. And I hear women like they're scared from all the way across the park, like, no, Bucky. And they like run over, and then they look at me, and I'm what did I do? I'm sorry. It's just, I raised a dog that I think genetically is a jerk. He's just like, and he's a good boy, but I think like this, I have Alzheimer's in my family. You know, I can be a good boy all I want, but you know, worst case scenario, I think my future daughter is my wife, and I try to kiss her. You know, my dog just snaps at other dogs if they bother him. You know, he's becoming a man. He's 2 years old, and if these dogs are like, you know, like jumping on him and like trying to hump him, he goes, ah! And if they're bigger than him, they come back. It's a dominance thing. And he doesn't. It's a never-ending cycle. It's an Ouroboros, except instead of a snake eating itself, it's my dog and another dog trying to eat each other. What's this? Do you want to tag Jonathan Wilkinson in this video? Why? Is he asking to be tagged? Jonathan Wilkinson isn't even in this room, I thought. You know, I get these propositions from Facebook, obviously, and they're just they don't know me. Facebook doesn't know what I want. You know what does? YouTube. It's weird. YouTube, they have this crazy algorithm. Okay, all right. I'm not insane. I think Google has a way of reading our thoughts. I get these video suggestions that simply were something I was thinking about, never said out loud. This is not an uncommon story. You've heard it before. People say this kind of thing. People say this kind of thing about things. They notice that these suggested videos and suggested things to buy, you know, like advertisements, targeted advertising. I think they pick up what, and I've watched a video or two on this topic. Maybe it's the beta waves of our brain. I'm using that term. I don't know what the hell it means. We have alpha waves, maybe. But I remember the key term, beta waves. Do you think that they're taking our thoughts and turning them into advertisements? You know, like, or that there's an algorithm that says, well, he's been looking at this video and he's been buying this product. That the natural progression based on other people who've looked at this video and bought these products is to do this. So we'll beat him to the punch and target him with this advertisement or with this video. Do you see? Do you see? I'm like the guy from Red Dragon. Like, you know, anyone who comes over to my house, I just show them all my like cameras and videos of myself and say, "Do you see? Do you see?" And I've got them super glued to the walls because I've got all my stools, all the stools and seating around my house occupied. Well, it's more like the stools in my house are the occupiers of my couch. I put them on the couch so that the dog can't jump on the couch, because when he jumps on the couch, he thinks he's the boss. And that can't be. That can't be. If he believes he has any control over where he's allowed to sit or how high up he is permitted, if he thinks he has any control over that, then he'll take liberties that don't belong to him. Liberties being growling when I sit down on the couch, like, "Hey, back off, it's my house." No, you're a dog, I tell him. I say that a lot. You're a dog. And sometimes I speak for him. I'm a dog. Oh God. But again, that's what this is. It's me. It's our society is breeding psychos. Sometimes I feel like I'm going nuts, but then I realize, oh, I'm just talking to myself. It's okay. I'm just talking to myself like everybody else. I'm just, I'm not bad at it. I'll tell you guys now that you're here, because you weren't when I was saying this before, but the thing about the social media world, and all right, well, that's just not going to work that way. I can't drink coffee and talk to the phone at the same time. Okay. The thing about the social media world is that everybody's, talking to themselves, and to the masses. I don't like saying the masses. I'll do this when I say the masses, because it's very disrespectful to individuals, humanity, in my opinion. It's like, ooh, the masses, the many, the little sheeple. I don't know. I don't trust people who say the masses. Anyway, the thing about this social media lifestyle of talking when you're not necessarily in front of real people is it breeds possible, I don't know, psychosis. Look, you do push-ups, you're working out your muscles. You talk to yourself, you're working out your muscles, your bobuscles. What do you call it? You're practicing doing something that crazy people do. So, what am I? If what the best outcome is like, I'm social media famous now. I'm like the most famous for talking to myself. I'm my limit. FYI, I don't know if you guys caught, but I have a show on the 6th at the Ice House. That'll be at 9:30. Yeah, show up, drop my name, and I don't know if you'll get a discount. I don't know. But if you drop my name to me, if you just talk to me about it, maybe I can get you a ticket. Just make it happen. I'm excited to work with this booker, to do a show for the booker, because I haven't before. Got a like in there. That's nice. That was from a nice person. I get now. I'm so as acutely aware of this kind of thing as any others, or anybody else who really knows about it. But what I'm referring to is the whole like phenomenon, where you get a little squirt of dopamine. I imagine we've got these tiny glands, microscopic. Anything you can view in a microscope is microscopic. I think that's the case. We got these microscopic glands, and I imagine them to look kind of like a stomach. Like a stomach, it's like a big like a bag. What do we got, John? John says, I drop your name in Denver all the time. It just doesn't work. There is a gal in Denver who I like. I've got a connection with, and I think she's cool. Speaking of gals I like, hey, there's Penny. Hey, Penny. She probably just left. What was I talking about? Strike one for schizophrenia. No. Wait, what was I talking about? Can someone please remind me? This is the worst feeling in the world. I feel like, I don't know, the image of Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing an Eastern European and walking on a tightrope. Glands. Thank you. So like our adrenal, like, or our dopamine gland that you get a shot of, like, dopamine. I do this because that's probably what it is. It's like a little, like a gland, like a haggis. Imagine like a stomach chock full of these, this dopamine, because we have the capability for any what would you call it? Not drug, but chemical. We've got all the chemicals in our brain already, and it's the, taking the drug that activates those chemicals. I think that's how it works. That's what I heard. We've got all the drugs in our minds already. So if we've got this little gland of dopamine that, every time we get a little new piece of information, it spits out a little bit of dopamine, and we get high on it, and we love it. I just imagine it to be a big, like, stomach sack with like a little, it tapers off, kind of like it would maybe going into the, that would be the large intestine. And it spits out dopamine. I just imagine like a tiny little butt sack. It looks like a, what do you call it? Bagpipe in there. Yeah. Yeah, like a bagpipe, like a butt sack. So, we've got haggis glands in our brains, and we're constantly trying to stimulate them, and we do it by I don't know, posting stuff and then getting likes. That's what this whole, yeah, and that's what it is. It's likes. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. It's what. So I'm so acutely aware of it that I punish myself mentally whenever I get a like. Like, my sister is a nutritionist now, but she has some background in psychology, and she's given me a few heads up on some things. She's told me every time you think a disparaging thought, replace it with a positive one. Every time you think a disparaging thought about yourself, replace it with a positive one. And that's a good psychological tip to reprogram your brain. So when I get a like and I don't want to be addicted to the dopamine, I just tell myself, you stupid fuck. Just shave it off. Just shave it off. No, it's fine. I'll tell you what, because I'm less, I'm not, I don't. Scottish drops today. Haggis and bag. You're right. That was the, what that is some psychology right there. I'd like to get some haggis in my belly. I'd like to get some haggis in my still raw haggis, and play a tune or two on my bagpipe. That's it. Okay. There is one impression that I realized, I'm good at, and I forgot what it was. It'll hit me, but it was like, oh, that one, really? Like, that's my impression? That's what I do? Jeez. Yeah, I should just do the thing that those old Scottish monks did. Whenever I think whenever I have a thought of pleasure at all, I just, oh great, okay, time to scourge myself, and I've got the weird, like, multi-tailed whip full of blades from the Passion of the Christ. Is coming up with, wow. I think I lost 2 pounds. Okay. Back to the sad thoughts. It occurred to me that I am, worst case scenario, like, Is there something wrong with me? Maybe it's just the... Yeah, what are you gonna... That's what those are, says Jonathan Wilkinson. Oh, shit. I got some sort of internal storage thing and it paused my broadcast. Hey, Ryan. Good to see you. Yeah, if I punished myself for getting every time I got a like, then I might cancel out that dopamine splurge that is apparently the plague of our society. I'd like to be more like they used to be. I'd like to be a farmer type, but I'm afraid. Do you guys think that our evolution has been shifted? Oh, I don't know what's happening with this thing. I think I've got to drop the Facebook thing, but if you find me on the YouTube, but I'm saying, I think because they put hormones in the cows and my mom drank all the milk, I was born like this. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that's possible? I mean, think about the girls that are, I remember in high school, the girls had butts and boobs and stuff. But then I'd go home and watch the Brady Bunch. And the girls that are the same age had nothing. They were like children. Was it because they were treated like children their whole lives? Or was it because like genetically something happened? I think it's the hormones in the cows. I really do. Yeah, that's what I'm good for. I'm Mr. Pastime over here. The worst thing I could be is a hobby. Like there are distinct differences I've heard between pastimes and hobbies. Those who have you got your baseball, it's a pastime. It's something you do to pass the time. Once it becomes a hobby, you're collecting cards. You're in it. I just know what I'm saying is I don't want anyone in me that much. Like I would for their own benefit. It'd be cool to have fans. But I'm just a Mr. Pastime. What was I saying? Well, if it occurs to you, please do remind me. I'll just. Oh yeah, the hormones. Do you think? I mean, wouldn't it have effect? You know that. Look, if radiation has effect on generations, there's other things. It can be done. This is the argument made by anti-vaxxers, who I get it. Why they say I'm just gonna dip my toes into the pro-anti or into the anti-vax side of the argument. Do you think then what if the argument is everybody says no, don't force me to vaccinate my kids because your kid's the one that got vaccinated. Your kids should be safe. If vaccinations were so cool, then why is it that you're afraid that my unvaccinated kid is in more danger than your vaccinated kid? Is the argument. And I get that. There's logic there. Unless there's more logic that, of course, your layman doesn't get, being something a doctor would say. I don't know. Well, the vaccination's really only effective when everyone's vaccinated. You think about what is and it's the government's big. The government wants you to be vaccinated, not just these individual health. They want everybody vaccinated. And it's in your corner store, CVS, like free vaccinations. It's kind of creepy. It's like watching a sci-fi movie where it's like, come get the pill today. You'll never be the same and you'll love it. La, 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 la. Why is it then? Ryan says, nobody's a dick. And if he were a dick, the Guthries are they're my cousins. They're the most in my family I can relate to of any of the, I don't know, guys in my family. I'll tell you that. I'll tell the world that online. I'll tell you about Aunt Christy at the wedding. Came up and started talking to me about the royal wedding. And it's a wedding, and I don't get to see Aunt Christy very often. It's like, oh yeah, but I'm thinking like, the royal, like, you mean the monarchy that doesn't even really have like power? Do they have power anymore in another country? Those people with the baby and the fanfare, and who cares? Aunt Christy. I indulged her in the conversation now. Toy. You want to see? Okay, hold 1 second. I got something really fun, and I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview because we're going to film the Mermaid sketch tomorrow at my parents' house in Lancaster. I've got the coolest prosthetic piece. I'm going to paint it today and put it on the mermaid tail, something you've never seen before, something I wonder if you've ever thought of before. And I want to share it with only you three. Oh my God, I lost you. Hang on a sec. I'm right. 2 seconds. So this is the prosthetic piece we're going to be putting on the mermaid tail. You know what it is? It's technically a large skin gouge, but oh yeah. And this is for the Facebookers. This is not what it exactly looks like. It says large skin gouge, doesn't it? Well, it's going to be the mermaid's cloaca. Mermaids reproduce. But how? Well, because they're fictional characters, I'm left to my own devices when thinking about that. So, oh no, worst case scenario, I'm thinking about mermaids' reproduction and stuff. So, they must, like, being the reproductive parts are like the half of them that's fish. So there's got to be a fish aspect there. All right. How do fish do it? They swim upstream, they, migrate or whatever, and then they lay eggs, and then those eggs are inseminated. That's exactly what I believe needs to be done with a mermaid. So she spews her load of eggs. There we go. Spews her egg load. That's a mermaid cloaca. Now, if you look up the definition of a cloaca, it is a single hole in a bird, in a female bird. Males have peckers, and females a cloaca. Don't call it a schloaka, even though that's how it's spelled. We'll do some good makeup in this thing. It's gonna be dark in the middle. It'll be like a hole, and we'll do some shading around, some purple, and the tail, the mermaid tail that I'm gonna blend the edges into, is green and blue. It'll be the green part that I blend in. Yeah, part of a balanced breakfast. I've lost viewers because of this cloaca I'm showing off. Not necessarily safe for work, I guess. Oh man, it's gonna be so much fun. You know what the eggs are gonna be? Little gel balls. The kind you would put in a vase to for decoration. I don't know why. I know the flowers need the softness of the soft pressure of tiny gel balls pushing up against their stems, so it feels like it's naturally buried, even though it's just an artificial simulation of nature. Well, Jonathan, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea, or I shouldn't say you wouldn't cock block me if you knew the name Brenna Bigelow, a beautiful flight attendant I met. on my way to Alabama to visit my sister. Found out that she, I met her coming from Denver airport. She is a comedian, and I asked her out. Yep, my shit was interrupted. I asked her out, and we talked in Birmingham, and communications died out over some time, and then she reached back out. But it's kind of it's open. The point is, there's a comedian in Denver who I'm friends with, who's just very nice. Just a nice gal. If you ever went to the Comedy Works out there, Jonathan, you may just see her. Maybe not. But yeah, so birds have female birds have a cloaca, men a pecker. The cloaca is the same hole for insemination, for birth, for pissing, pooping. It all comes out the same. Isn't that crazy? Kind of scary. Comedy Works in Denver, from what I understand, is just a world-class club. So that's on the list. Isn't that disgusting, though, about birds? A lot of guys, from what I've heard only recently, just in the last several days, it was not the first time I heard this either, that a lot of guys don't like to go down on women. Technically, most guys don't like to go down on guys, too. That's really only 2% of the population. And I don't know what percentage of that are guys that don't like blowing guys. Point is, what the hell? Is this going still? Okay. I just get these pop-ups that say, oh, dude, Rick, that was my first instinct, was to use boba. This is why we're like family, because of the zibida. That was my first instinct, because that's the only other like little squishy thing. That was the first thing that I thought to do. And it was my buddy Chris who, what's the word? Prodigious stoner. Thought of the gel balls. And do you know how cheap those are? I got over 600 for close to $12, for about $12. It's wild. So we're going to put those in. I got giant balloons, massive balloons. We're going to, with a funnel, get the balls in the balloons with gel lubricant. Okay, it's going to all come out in an explosion. Is it? Yes, but because Michael Scott said it, it's probably not a true fact, is it? Yes, and yes, you can get diseases from a bird. I know it's a moot point, but what about dinosaurs? You probably could have gotten a lot of diseases from them. They seem like the kind. And it's not just the, sick triceratops from Jurassic Park that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of dinosaurs, by the way, because birds, they probably had cloacas. They probably had fungus on them that would have, been completely deadly to a people. When I was a kid, my parents told me about the birds and the bees. And to this day, I still can't find a woman who will let me put my thorax in her cloaca. But I'm trying. I mean, cloaca? Birds and the bees in general, what does that mean? Oh, that's terrible. Oh man, I seem to remember that one from 2004. Chirpies. See, I get a kick out of puns. I can't not enjoy a pun. I don't know. Maybe it's because my sense of humor is so developed that it went all the way around to zero. I think they get a bad rap, puns. You know what? As long as I got you here, let me try some roast jokes. While you're on Facebook, I don't know if it requires you leaving the live, probably does. Maybe if you open another window, I don't know. If you looked up Sarah Fatimi, I've got a roast battle with her coming up. That'll be in August. The Comedy Store, world famous Comedy Store. This will be my third roast battle. The first one was with a Jewish gal, and I think because I didn't have every joke. Every joke was perfect, but they were funnier than hers. And my point is, I lost anyway. Maybe it was my attitude. So 1-0. Next battle is with a straight white guy. Guess who won? Neither of us. Nobody wins. It's the big show. Nobody wins. So I'm crawling out of the gutter here, and for my opponent, I've chosen at the world famous Comedy Store roast battle a Muslim feminist. So the cards are stacked. However, I have to say the hypocrisies of being an Islamic feminist are they abound. Allow me to look. This is what I'll say on stage. Sarah is an Islamic feminist, so she does not wear a hijab. She wears a shijab. Sarah, what the fuck are you wearing? It's my shijab. My shijab. Shijab. No? I don't know. May or may not be. I could say so many worse things, though. Good. How about this one? Sarah, you should consider yourself lucky. Most Muslim women have to wear a hijab because of their insecure husbands. But you were born ugly, so you do not have a husband. Yeah, good. Good. So if I comment on it, it's funny because that was like the first one I wrote. I will say this. I've always had a thing for we'll call them derpy looking women. Derpy. Yeah. Yeah. And I've not got a problem with that. I like them. And talking about, like Laura Dern, oddly attractive. And I know that it's odd. It's not like she's, Gwyneth Paltrow. People like Gwyneth Paltrow, right? I like them. I like them derpy. I like them where so you don't have a chin. Like you have like if you accidentally walked into a street sign or something, you'd probably knock yourself out because you have no chin to support to save your brain from rattling in your skull if you accidentally got hurt. Or if you're what's an example of a derpy quality? Like, you've got this heart-shaped head and bug eyes. Oh, I kind of like you. You obviously were raised to have a good attitude. That's the most attractive thing you can ask for. Yeah, no, Laura Dern. I can't. She was wearing those mom shorts in Jurassic Park, like she belonged in them. And the character was like was not a mom. She was like woman power, you know. So crawl out of my ass about that. That's for sure. I should go to Nebraska. There's a lot of basic bitches out there. They're just normal gals. I'm so used to seeing like remarkable women, like remarkably attractive women, like so much so that you remark upon it, which is socially frowned upon. But hey, it's remarkable. I want to say, like, you are remarkable. Therefore, the remark. Good day. Uh-oh. So I'm gonna be live for 1 hour exactly. That leaves us 4 minutes. 4 minutes together. Gosh, let's reflect. I mean, think about the cloaca. The what the hell were we talking about? I don't even know anymore. But this was the first of what I hope to be, many kinds of sojourns in the Facebook and YouTube live experience that, is really it's a culture come to gather. So many of you folks, you communicate this way and have like real lives. So I want to find that nice balance. Yeah, we had good time with the haggis. A lot of it was good. You guys can see what I'm not gathering right now, which is the big picture. Why even recap when you just lived it? I'm plowing through words. Oh, man, and like some of these people at the dog park too. They're in there. It's crazy to see people living lives very different than your own, my own. When I say you, sometimes I mean me. You know that. Sorry, I've just incepted my own head. You ever see a man eat his own head? So yeah, sometimes at the dog park, I want to tell these beautiful women, I want to tell them like you're. It's unbelievable. I'm unable to believe it. And so when I say that, I mean it. Unbelievable. Like this, you're reinforcing my belief in the multiverse because they're in the Matrix, I should say, because you don't really exist if you're making me feel this way. Because this feeling is incredible. I'm unable to give it credit. It's beautiful. You're a beautiful woman. Well, am I saying this out loud? Uh, you know. This is fun. I see why people do it. Again, so if there's any lesson that can be taken, I think from this that I'm taking this lesson too. Okay, we're all on the same page. It's that if you get a like on Facebook, counteract that good feeling you get with a negative thought, with just a complete self-hate, self-deprecating conception. That way, you won't become addicted to the drugs your body produces. And you might be able to make better connections and love more. I'm gonna, you know what? Yes, I will. Happy, come here. Just before the end, he's gonna come in. Yep, come on. Come say hi to the people. Come on. Yeah. Come on. He's wary of me. What is this? Come on, look. Come on, look at the camera. All right, pick him up. That's okay. Good boy. Pick him up. Oh, yes. Just don't embarrass me on live internet. Because, I don't know if you can tell, he's a little bit annoyed. I can sense it. But he's a good boy. Just don't look into the light. Don't look into the light. Don't go toward the light. All right. Facebook Live. I love you, Rick. I'll see you soon. Facebook, YouTube. I'm calling it. This is a nice clean out. Bye-bye. Okay. You too. Bye-bye. I said bye-bye.